Hi kids, it's Mr. Garrison. You are watching Anti-Slave Question Everything.
Welcome to AntiSlave Question Everything.
Anti-Slave Question Everything. Anti-Slave Question Everything.
Welcome to AntiSlave Question Everything.
Question Everything. Question Everything. Anti-Slave Question Everything. Anti-Slave Question Everything.
Anti-Slave Question Everything.
Anti-Slave Question Everything. Anti-Slave Question Everything. Welcome to Anti-Slave Question Everything.
Hey guys, hello and welcome to another fun-filled episode of Anti-Slave QE with your hostess with the mostest, Bo Diggles. Today, we're gonna talk a little bit. I had Matthew back on the show again, and we talked about, I mean, everything that goes from fucking. We talked about a Rockefeller book that they have a bunch of artwork in that has satanic and other occult-like depictions. We talked about Nazi Germany. We talked about Trudeau's tyranny. We talked about CERN. We talked about a bunch. The episode was kind of unorganized because I just kind of hit Matt up on a whim and was like, bro, there's some crazy shit, you know? Or he had messaged me with some documents, and then I was just like, hey, man, since you're here, you want to hop on a pod really quick? And he agreed to, so then we just got on. Fucking, I didn't have as many audio issues this time, but I did. If you watch the whole video, you see that I clicked out multiple times, like 3 times I did it again, just to make sure my OBS was fucking actually recording. Because I had issues the first time that me and him did a fucking pod together, and shit didn't get recorded and it sucked. But so just a little quick announcements before I do this, before the episode starts. So you can find me on Spotify, you can find me on YouTube, you can find me on BitChute, you can find me on Twitter, you can find me on Reddit. I will have all the links to any type of social media and other links, including things that Matthew wanted me to put in the link description, will all be down in there. Another thing, too, is antislaveqe@outlook.com if you want to get on my show and talk about something. Conspiracy, whatever, spiritually, whatever. If you want to talk about some shit, hit me up. And if it's something, you know, that will be good on the show, we'll fucking do it. So that's that. So, yeah, we had a good conversation today. I just wanted to let y'all know that. Fucking do little quick announcements, and then here it is. Enjoy it. Bye. And also, my daughter just brought me this fucking badass picture she drew of a snake and a bird fighting, so... That's pretty cool. Look at that. It's fucking tight, dude. Look at that artistic ability. Look at that artistic ability. Awesome. Love it. All right, cool. Enjoy, guys. This is happening in real time, bud. We got this shit fucking working, eh? That's awesome. Fuck yeah.
Are we live?
We're not live. Oh, yeah. I mean, I guess we're live. I guess technically now, yeah. I mean, we're not being streamed live, but we're recording.
Yeah. So... I noticed that the podcast didn't get put up on YouTube. Does YouTube not? Do you have to be more careful?
That was just what I was uploading when I said we gotta wait. For like the 3 minutes that just got done uploading on there. So awesome. I was a little worried because I mentioned Frazzle Drip. I was a little worried. Yeah. And Frazzle Drip is one of those things, man. It's like Pizzagate. You can't say Pizzagate on YouTube. They'll fucking kick your ass off of that, you know?
That's crazy. It's stupid because, you know, it's like Hunter Biden's laptop and a million other things. How the fuck do you know what's the truth? And now we know. I can't get Hunter Biden's laptop. Some people might be tired of me talking about that, but we had 50 CIA agents lying about that, you know? Yeah. And no accountability. It's fucking like... But at least they exposed themselves. I know the CIA has exposed themselves a million times in the past, but I guess it's just nice to have an update. Like, they're still corrupt. They're still liars.
Yeah, for sure. You know? Yeah, for sure. Yeah, now it's definitely, okay. They're definitely setting their fucking character in stone, you know? Yeah, they didn't stop with the fuck shit back in the 50s and 60s, some lying sons of bitches, just like they like to say they did, but they never did. We still have MK Ultra going on, man.
Yeah, definitely possible. Definitely. You know, it's just like they happen to leave these, you know, some of the subjects from the past alive. But, you know, if they take they used to use prostitutes and homeless people and all the rest of it. Well, why don't they just grab some little child from Bangladesh and then kill him at the end of the thing? It's like guaranteed no one will ever know, you know?
Shit fucking gets me so mad, dude, when I think about it. But yeah, that's fucking, it's ridiculous, dude. It's fucking ridiculous. I can't even believe the state that the world is in right now. Like, you know what I mean? And fuck, dude.
It's a scary place to be in, you know, really, for sure. Like,
fuck, dude.
We're, you don't know how deep it goes. I mean, really, we know it goes right to the top, right? But what did we want to talk about today? Were you thinking about talking about the Rockefeller book?
Yes, yeah.
Or,
I was thinking about talking about the Rockefeller group, but right before that, I did want to say a couple of things to you in regards to what was happening with CERN, because no fucking wonder everything is so fucking whack right now. You know, it's crazy. I mean, I'm going to be doing another pod about this, I think, on Sunday. I think I'm going to be talking pretty deeply about CERN, so we don't need to get into it too much right now, but it's just...
That's a heavy thing. We're fucking talking about, like, quantum mechanics and shit, right?
Yeah.
Where, I gotta admit, I'm just out of my depth, but I can absolutely tell you with confidence, I don't want that shit going on. Like, I don't want. They are legitimately trying to recreate the Big Bang, right? Like, they're colliding particles together as fast as humanly possible in an attempt to create enough energy that would recreate that moment, the Big Bang, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but what happened in the Big Bang? It was like there was a massive, like, quantum mechanic nuclear explosion of some kind. Like, is that what we're really want to be experimenting with? And it's an experiment, right? It is an experiment. Yeah. Don't let any of these people tell you they know what's going to happen.
Oh, they don't. They have no fucking idea what they're messing with. And this is another situation in which Stranger Things was a fucking documentary, bro. I don't know if you've seen Stranger Things.
Yeah. I haven't. I have some episodes,
but that shit, dude, when I was watching it with my girlfriend, and I was like, hey, babe, this is a documentary, babe. I was like, that shit happened. This shit happened. One crazy thing about Stranger Things, this last season that they fucking released was there was one episode that was called Project... I'm spacing the name of the episode. But it was like Project something with some lady's name. And it was actually an allusion to, or I think that would be the right word, right? If you're gonna allude. Yeah, I don't really know, but
allude, yeah, allude, yeah.
So it was an allusion. Referred to. They were basically giving a little to like this actual lady that could move shit with her mind, and that was her name. And I believe she was a victim of MK Ultra, but I'm not sure, so don't quote me on that.
Personally, don't believe in any of that stuff, but it's definitely possible. Mm-hmm. You know, some. Like, what moves stuff with your mind? Yeah, it's possible. I don't believe in it though myself.
I've never seen it happen. And for the most part, I have to I have to see it to believe it. I question a lot of shit, you know. shit.
Yeah, absolutely. But there's stuff we don't understand, like black dark matter and stuff. Like, they can't explain that stuff. It's like
there's
lots of stuff. So I'm not going to tell you I'm 100%. It's like aliens, you know, to me, where it's like I don't believe in them. But it's definitely possible.
Yeah. There's always a good way to fucking just keep your mind open about shit. But yeah, I wanted to touch bases a little bit on that, and I kind of figured I already knew what your opinion was going to be, but I wanted to hear it, you know. But if you want to
on moving stuff,
yeah, and on CERN, just on what's happening with CERN too, man. It's just
I need to do more research. You know, I know they have the Shiva god, which is the god of destruction.
That's what my buddy was just telling me today. My buddy was just telling me that today because I caught him outside
Hinduism. This is really fucking interesting. So I thought I understood Nazi Germany because my family came from Germany and suffered under, you know, part of my family, you know, resisted them, and I'm super proud of, you know, they're like these heroes that I look up to. And then I had other family members that served in the Nazi army, right? But it's serve or die, you know.
Right.
So it's not But Hinduism, supposedly, according to certain historians, came from the Aryan conquest of India.
Mm-hmm.
So the Aryan race, again, this is according to some historians, according to stuff I was looking up on the internet. This is what I'm not saying 100% this is the truth. I'm just saying that this is what they believe, at least.
Yeah.
This is I think it was coming from the Gnostic, actually, YouTube channel, which is weird. The Gnostics are like this mystical type of Christianity, I believe it is. I'm all new to this stuff. I'm a novice, so feel free to correct me in the comments. Anybody knows any better. So anyways, the Aryans came from originally, supposedly, near Ukraine, near Crimea.
Mm-hmm.
So, when we have these neo-Nazi groups in Ukraine, it starts to make a little bit of sense. You might be wondering, well, they're not German. How come we have the Azov battalion in Ukraine? According to, their beliefs, the Aryan race came from right around that region. And then they moved down into India, conquered the Indian subcontinent, and created Hinduism, or its precursor, Brahmanism, as a way to control the conquered Indians, because the Hindu religion has the caste system built into it.
Right.
It's a pyramid, like the Masonic pyramid or whatever else. You have at the top of the pyramid was the priest class, the Brahmins. This is this is where Hinduism originated from Brahmanism. So you had the priests at the very top of the pyramid, then you had the soldiers below them, then the merchants below them, and it was a way of controlling the Indian continent with this religion that they had created to allow the Aryans to control the society they conquered.
That gives a whole new meaning to the term pyramid scheme.
Yeah, it does.
Whoa.
It does. Yeah.
Crazy. Okay, I'm sorry, continue. You're blowing my mind, though. I just had to add that there.
So, and the Nazis, they were deeply involved in the occult. In the hidden. Occult means hidden, really, right? So in these hidden societies, the Thule Society, Thule spelt like those things that you put on top of your car, Thule racks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So spelled like that. It's called Thule Society, and it was a hidden secret society that existed in Germany before the Nazi Party, and it was its precursor. And so there was all kinds of things where they, the SS, they stopped burying their SS soldiers with crosses. They started burying them with these pagan Germanic death runes. So they were not, some people, think that the Nazis were Christian. They were not Christian. It was they created this myth of the Aryan race. They were the people that conquered the Roman Empire and stuff. And so they found this ancient, you can look all this stuff up, all of this stuff up online. I think it's called Weewelsbaum. There was this ancient castle, which was supposedly on the site of where the Germanic people defeated the Roman Empire in a battle.
Yeah.
And they were going to turn this into the Vatican for the Third Reich. It was going to be this religious center for the new, Nazi empire.
Uh-huh.
And they had actually, it's documented. They created these ritual rooms within the castle with an eternal flame. And they had this other room with the black sun. The black sun is a Nazi symbol that was found on the Buffalo shooter. The Buffalo mass shooter.
Yeah.
He had the black sun on his, I think it was on his chest or something. And the black sun is also found on the Azov battalion's logo. So the Azov battalion, they have the black sun in the background. And then on top of the black sun is the N, or whatever the N with the, So, yeah, there's all this hidden history of stuff. The thing is, you think it's kind of there if you dig it up and look it up. But, part of it is, the Bush family, they made their original fortune. It's documented now. You can read it in, The Guardian wrote pieces about it. that the Bush family made their original fortune from supporting the Nazis.
Oh man. Oh yeah.
You know,
Sons of
and
bitches. Fuckers,
yeah.
man. Those fuckers, man. God
So
damn.
I don't know how I originally got on the topic. We were somehow talking about Hinduism and Shiva at CERN, and so I just wanted to give a bit of background. Some people might not know the connection between like Nazis thought they ruled the entire world. That was, you know, they were kind of they were claiming that they were the rightful ruling class, ruling race of the world. You know, and they saw the swastika. The swastika existed in pre-Columbian Native American cultures, and in South Korea, China, India, you can find the swastika everywhere. And so, according to the Nazis, it was like, oh, this is proof that we're the rightful heirs to the world. You know. So
Right. I see.
Fucked up.
It's real fucked up. Yeah, because I do believe that. I don't know if I'm correct on this, but I might be spouting bullshit. But I think the swastika originally wasn't it a symbol of positivity of some sort?
Well, it's like from part of Buddhism, and it's like I think it was part of like, you know, 10 different like cultures and religions, right?
I
like
see.
It was in Native America, so it probably had, you know, 10 different meanings. But the Nazis, you know, just take it. It's like the Satanists. They all do the same thing. They have this weird like ideology that allows them to take all these aspects of all different religions and claim, you know, because the Satanists, they say that Satan is a shapeshifter.
Yeah.
So they can look at a snake here, they can look at a goat here, they can look at a jaguar here, and just be like, oh, these are all Satan.
Oh yeah.
You know,
yeah. Sons of bitches.
Like,
God damn it.
It's like really stupid, but kind of smart. Like, they are able to take all the different religions from all across the world and just claim them all as evidence that, you know, Satan is the real God.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's whack.
That's so whack.
Others, you know, like Satanism, all these pagan religions, they all practice human sacrifice, right?
Right.
Guess what the definition for Holocaust is? I didn't know this. Look up Holocaust. You can look up the definition. It's a sacrifice consumed by fire.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Are you fucking serious?
I'm dead serious.
Dude.
That's the definition. So why did they choose this word? You know,
Didn't they burn?
It's crazy.
Didn't they burn people too, though?
they
Whoa.
cremated them all, right?
Dude, so was the Holocaust an entire fucking chaos magic ritual? Do you think? Maybe that they were doing?
I believe it was. And the Nazis were. It was a religion. You know, people try to say it was a political movement. You know, some people say it's far right. Other people point out it was a National Socialist Party, so it was far left. Other people would say the left-right dichotomy is made up.
Oh yeah, I believe so. I believe it's a system made to fucking.
Yeah, because what does left mean? What does right mean? It's like nobody can even give you an accurate description of, like, is it small government, big government? Is it?
Yeah,
it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that's
so,
right. It's all
but anyways, but as a religion, like they, you know, all the Nazi flags had to be like baptized with this one original Nazi flag that they had when when the Nazis first tried to stage a coup, a military coup in Bavaria. That's what got Hitler put in prison, right, for when he wrote Mein Kampf. So they had originally tried to stage a coup, and there was a Nazi flag in that coup that got covered in blood from one of the original Nazis that tried to storm the parliament in Munich or whatever it was. And so then they took that flag and they were baptizing. Every other swastika flag that was used by the Nazi party had to be like baptized by this blood flag, they called it.
Baptism in blood,
Yeah.
Wow.
And then it was documented. Hitler sent out archaeologists looking for the Spear of Destiny. The Spear of Destiny was supposedly the spear that was used to stab Jesus while he was on the cross.
Oh wow! I've heard of the Spear of Destiny, but I haven't dove into it. I've heard of it, but did they actually fucking put out Nazi forces to go and try to find this spear?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Supposedly.
Yeah. I can imagine. So I know that a lot of these government places and a lot of these different organizations, not only do they practice scientific ways of doing things, but they also practice occult ways of doing things, similar to what I believe CERN is doing now. Maybe they're those large chaos magic rituals that they have done in the past with their dances and their goat heads and their naked women and whatnot. That might have not worked the way that they wanted it to work. So let's recreate the Big Bang, I guess.
Yeah, it's like how fucked up these people are in the head is hard to comprehend, because myself being atheist most of my life, now agnostic / Christian,
right?
It's hard for me to. I come from like an agnostic atheist perspective. It's hard, but then and it's okay if your leaders are Christian or Muslim, even if they're a hardcore fundamentalist Muslim or Christian. I can get my head around that.
Right.
But when you start talking about hardcore fundamentalist Satanists,
yeah, it's hard. It's hard to.
What are these people? Are these people trying to destroy the world with CERN? Like, I wouldn't put it past them.
I wouldn't put it past them either. That's what my buddy said, is that he thinks they're trying to open a portal to the god of destruction, Shiva. You said, right?
Yeah.
And they have ties to the Hindu god Shiva, and my buddy was like, that's their whole thing, is that they're trying to get to the mirror world because that is where these gods exist. So.
And yes, I like. As much as I might say I might not believe in the mirror world, it's definitely possible. Definitely possible. I definitely think there's a very good chance they believe in it.
Right. Oh, they
right.
Wholeheartedly believe in it. They wholeheartedly believe in it, And belief can make things in real. That's just one thing that I believe. I believe in manifestation. So
I would say just believe in too. Yeah. They believe in willing things, and manifesting things heavily. And I mean, it's 100% it's true to some extent. Like, you have to want to do something to do it, kind of, or at least you have to think of doing it in your head before you do it.
You have to have intent, at least the intent. Yeah. You have to have intent,
Yeah.
And that's a big part of manifestation is intent, and manifesting your intent and what you want from it. And I believe, I just believe that crazy things can totally come from that might affect my reality, might affect your reality, it's just crazy, man. It's just crazy. So I don't know what's going to happen on the 5th, I don't think anybody does, but if there's anything I could say to anyone, it would just be, you just make sure that on that night before and the day of, just if anything does happen and our reality changes, I'm just going to make sure that I'm on a high spiritual frequency. I'm just going to make sure that I know, and I know, and as a conspiracy theorist, I believe that me and you already are on higher spiritual frequencies. And one thing that I really like is from another podcast I listen to, is Tinfoil Hat with Sam Tripoli. Or Sam Tripoli. He says he don't even like the term conspiracy theorist. He says he likes to call himself a spiritual skepticism because they deemed that shit by the CIAs, man.
I cut out. What did you say he likes to call it?
He likes to call it a spiritual skeptic.
Spiritual skeptic.
Yeah. Instead of a conspiracy.
Yeah, definitely
theorist.
Do not use their terms. Absolutely not. Like you said, they engineered that. They're constantly using Orwellian doublespeak. Department of Defense is the Department of War. There's a million other examples. But I can't remember them off the top of my head. But they use those things because they frame. You can frame. We think with thoughts, right? This is something Jordan Peterson has talked about. We think with thoughts. Like, if you think in your head, we think with words. Mm-hmm. If you think in your head, this is actually kind of trippy if you've never thought about it. You don't think with thoughts. I was misspeaking. That's incorrect. You think with words. Mm-hmm. Which is really weird because words are a social construct. So how the fuck did people think before we had language?
Oh, man.
That's another question.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you
Visual
can think in
imagery.
pictures too.
Yeah.
I think you can think in pictures too, but it's either pictures or words. I'm pretty sure those are like the only, feel free to correct me, anyone, but So when they have these phrases where they shape just like the social construct of the left and right, right? Like we didn't even agree. Wait, I never even agreed to the left-right construct. Why am I forced into this box where now the whole discussion is within this box?
Right. That's true.
Which is, I've seen that imagery. Have you ever seen the imagery of the Masonic imagery at the Bank of America? There's these murals in the Bank of America headquarters. And they have this person inside a box with these strings going up to the sky, making this person dance within the box.
Like a marionette.
And like a marionette within a little, a constructed box. And this is maybe we can put this Google Doc I put together in the description for the podcast so people can see the link to this and and some of the other stuff.
Yeah.
Or you can just Google it quickly. You'll find a picture.
We can include everything. We can include anything you want to send me, bro. It's all good. We can include anything.
It's these guys are Freemasons, and then so what do we want to talk about today? Do we want to have a topic, or do we want to just go anywhere wherever we end up?
Well, I want to get into that document that you have about the Rockefellers, right? That is, I'm correct, right, to say about it was the Rockefellers, right, with their.
It was Nelson Rockefeller, and the good thing about it is like he actually wrote the foreword, so he was one of the authors. And the whole so I guess I haven't explained to the people listening. This is a book, like I mentioned before. These guys, 100%, they were way more bold before the internet. Because it wasn't being recorded and things weren't permanent, unless somebody happened to have their VHS recorder on.
Right.
Because if it's TV, right, if it's like a TV broadcast, it's there and then it's gone.
It's fucking history, dude. It's history.
If you didn't catch that one word or something, then it's gone. And so, we have I wanted to make that connection. I think I made it clear, right? Hinduism came from the Aryans, and the Aryans are the Nazis, and the Nazis had all these practices, human sacrifice, and they were looking at pagan religions, the pagan runes that they were using to SS. Those S's, those were actually Germanic runes.
Oh, wow.
And they used, or they were pagan runes. I don't know if they were Germanic or not. I believe they were. I believe that it meant victory was the hidden meaning. So it meant victory, and then it also had a double meaning as SS for it was German for like secret police or something. And then they also were burying the SS with these death runes. The death rune, if you look it up, it's the symbol that's inside of the peace symbol. This is the death rune. It's a cross. It's like a broken cross upside down. So if you have it crossed upside down, it's satanic, right? We all know that. If you have it crossed upside down, it's a satanic symbol. And then if you were to break the cross, that gives you that symbol that you have inside of the peace symbol.
Wow.
And it's called the, I forget the name of it, but you can just quickly Google search German death rune.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so, they were burying their SS soldiers with that stuff. And so this book was published in 1976. Nelson Rockefeller wrote the foreword, and it's just full of pieces of art. Really, these are ritualistic objects that were used in rituals in Africa, in Papua New Guinea, in America, in North America and Central America before the Europeans came. And so in their own descriptions that they use, these are pieces, some of them are described as coming from secret controlling societies. Yeah. Others are of pieces of someone that was hung for breaching the initiatory secrets, for divulging secrets of the secret society. Others are of depicting someone that died during the initiation. Others are of depicting someone that's holding a head for sacrifice.
Wow.
Others are of somebody that died during the initiation ceremony.
Oh man.
So, and others are talking about malevolent magic.
Aleister Crowley shit right there, man. That's Aleister Crowley shit.
Yep. So there's all kinds of. This is the one that really looks. What does that look like to you?
Oh my god. Is that a double-sided
Yeah.
goat head mask?
Well, the head really looks human. The head really looks human,
yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
Yeah. So, and there's lots of pieces like this. And the description for this is double-faced masks express the dualities of nature and society. And if you know anything about Satanism and occultism, it's as above, so below. It's all about dualism.
Yes.
Right? It's coagula on the Baphomet. The one is coagula and the other is dissolve.
Up and down.
Dissolve and coagulate. Yeah.
Whoa.
So, and I hope everybody knows about the George Washington statue that was completed in 1840. I believe it's featured in the Da Vinci Code of George Washington, shirtless, seated, one hand pointed up, one hand pointed down. Yeah, and he was a master Freemason.
Yes.
That's documented, and Freemasonry is Satanism. I can explain that's the whole. It is.
It is. It is. I got a couple of neighbors here that are Freemasons. I see their shit on their license plate, and I'm like, you motherfuckers, stay away from me.
Yeah, you don't have to connect dots that are far away or hard to connect. It's like, as dead Freemasons, to put it really quite simply, this is how I would explain it. Freemasons are Hermetic. They practice the Hermetic tradition. Mm-hmm. They practice Hermeticism. The Hermeticism is a jumbled melting pot of pagan religions. The Hermetic symbol is right in the center of Baphomet.
Yes.
Right, the caduceus, the rod with the two snakes around it, and the wings. So the most prominent Hermetic symbol is right in the center of the most prominent satanic symbol. And the Freemasons, although sometimes they lie and they say we're not a religion, other times you don't have to dig that deep to realize to see. They even stated openly themselves that they are a Hermetic church, Hermetic cult.
Yeah.
So that's how I would explain it.
I'm a maintenance guy at an apartment complex, right? So I'm in and out of people's houses all the time, and I got two tenants here that I know are Masons, and one of them has the thing on his car that says Freemason Brotherhood, blah 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 blah, with all those symbols. There's there's all sorts of crazy symbols on it, and then another tenant that I know is a Freemason. I know he's a Freemason because he's an older man. I went up into his house to do a service there, and above his fireplace, he's got this big painting. And this is fucking crazy, right? This painting is a mockery of the Final Supper with Jesus. You know that picture of Jesus at the Final Supper? But in the middle of it is it's all big heads in the Masonic order, I think I just blocked that, but I think I can't remember.
George Washington, Benjamin Franklin.
Yes, I think Benjamin Franklin or George Washington's right in the middle of it. And then
so George Washington was Master Freemason. Mm-hmm. Benjamin Franklin was the head of the master of the Lodge of Philadelphia.
Yes,
which is where the Declaration of Independence was signed. Right.
Okay.
I think it was Philadelphia the old capital before Washington.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I don't really know too much about it.
But and he was also Benjamin Franklin was also the head of the Masonic Lodge in Paris. And he also belonged to the Hellfire Club in England.
Yeah. And we can't even talk. Nobody even wants to talk about how many fucking bodies of little children were underneath Franklin's fucking house. Children. children.
Charred bones. And charred bones.
Yes, and
so burnt.
And they want to be like, you look on history.com and they're like, well, it was kind of a fucking, they didn't want to look at anatomy back in the day, but Benjamin Franklin was a very curious man, so he would just do an anatomy experience on dead bodies. I'm like, there's holes in those kids' heads, bro.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Fucking like he's experimenting. Not in the way you think he is. Sons of bitches.
No.
Fuck that piece of shit.
Absolutely. And the Hellfire Club is so well documented. Sometimes it's weird. Like, the further back you go in the past, to some degree, the grayer things get because, it's gone through so many potential censorships over time.
Right.
But then it's also had so much time for things to be revealed, right?
Right.
And nobody is personally going to be imprisoned. So, but the Hellfire Club is so well documented because, like, when the people of England found out about it, they passed laws to abolish the club and everything, and they were doing all kinds of satanic stuff in these caves. Right in the caves, you can still visit these caves. They're like a tourist attraction now.
Wow, fucked up.
Here's some more. This is some more masks that Rockefeller was collecting. The white one there is from Occult of the Dead. Their own description.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Tell me that other mask on the side there, though, does not look like the drummer from Slipknot, bro.
What?
That looks like the
I
fucking...
don't know.
No.
That looks like a clown.
It does.
It looks like a clown mask.
It's not the drummer from Slipknot. It's Corey Taylor's original mask from Slipknot. That's what that looks like.
I have to look that up.
I think I have my phone right
the description is... the Tole tribe of New Britain made masks. Above left, the Cult of the Dead, so that's the white one. And the one on the right was masks from the Biwak tribe of Papua New Guinea. So Papua New Guinea was... so here's another interesting thing. Papua New Guinea was riddled with cannibalistic culture and societies. So there's a funny quote, actually. I was reading a book. I think it's Paris 1918, I think it was. I was reading in it. And it's about after World War I, they were dividing up the world, right?
Yeah.
Who gets to control what part of the world after, both after World War I and World War II. They just redrew the maps of the world, right?
Yeah, really just divvied it out amongst the fucking powers.
Yeah, and so when they were talking about Papua New Guinea, there's a quote from one guy, and they were talking about whether or not they were going to allow missionaries to Papua New Guinea. And they were like, oh, we'll take as many as we would possibly can send because they keep eating them.
Oh, fuck.
We can't send enough.
Oh, fuck.
And so Nelson Rockefeller's son, this is well documented, and it's actually in the foreword of this book. Supposedly, he was in Papua New Guinea exploring these tribes, and his boat supposedly capsized, and he supposedly drowned.
Yeah.
But then there's other people that say, well, maybe he swam to shore and just got eaten alive because all of these tribes were all cannibals.
Right.
And then there's other people that point out that these guys are Satanists and child sacrifice is the ultimate. You can sacrifice a child, but if you sacrifice your own child, that might be the thing that lets you, really get to the highest level of the of the hierarchy. Because Nelson Rockefeller, the father of this guy, then went on to become vice president of the United States.
Yeah. Fuck, man.
And and they actually were forced to, under his leadership, under his term as vice president, the United States government was forced to investigate CIA actions because MKUltra got out to the public.
Right.
So there was so much public pressure to investigate this stuff that finally they said, okay, we'll investigate it. It's called the Rockefeller Commission. Okay. And so we had the criminals investigating the crime, right?
Right.
It's no wonder nobody ever got locked up for it.
Yeah.
Well, Nelson Rockefeller was in charge of the investigative committee. It's called the Rockefeller Commission.
How
and this guy,
how convenient.
How convenient. Yeah, absolutely. And I want to do, I need to do a deep dive into the Rockefellers because of the Trilateral Commission that they founded, and I know there's still the Rockefeller Foundation is still massive in terms of
Totally.
the influence it holds in the world.
Oh,
And
totally.
I know a lot of people. I know there's a lot of claims that they hold their philanthropy in front of third world countries like a carrot and say, we got this $1 billion for you, but just make sure you be our little bitch, right?
That's so fucked up, dude. That is so fucked up. And that's how they get rich, though, is off of other people's misfortune. And that's just the thing about these fucking evil power elites is that's what they do.
Yeah, this Satanism is the religion for the elites. It doesn't have to be. We could have good elites. Like JFK.
Yeah.
JFK talked about these people. He called the secret societies out and warned them about the grave danger.
Of course, he got snuffed.
And and his brother and his son.
Yes.
Right.
Oh yeah. There's so many fucking. Oh my god. Wow.
So there's we can link instead of me, putting the book in front of the camera. We can link the Instagram account where I posted a bunch of photos.
Oh, perfect.
From the book.
Can you show me that clown mask one more time? Sorry to interrupt you, bro, but I want to see that clown mask because I wanted to show you this.
Well,
or wait, that's right.
I have to find it. Oh, here's another one. Let me open Discord so I can see. So this one here. See that one?
Whoa.
It's a little weird, right? Okay, but wait till you hear the description.
Yeah.
The most important social formation in the New Hebrides Islands is a men's society with many grades through which men rise during their lifetimes. This society was invented by a cannibal ancestral woman. So,
wow.
In an elaborate mask left partly, I think the other one's a description of the other piece. So, yeah, and then these are all pieces that held this is a piece that held hallucinogenic drugs.
Okay. Like it's a fucking chalice almost that you drink from?
Yeah. And this one down here. This one down, I don't know if you can see that. You would fill it with liquid, and then it would the liquid would come out the little penis.
Oh.
Of the statue.
Wow.
And and if you know something about Satanism, they practice hallucinogenic drug use during the rituals.
Yep.
So they got lots of pieces here from societies that were using hallucinogenic drugs, and just tons of I described a bunch of the other pieces as well. So, but then there's some other quotes, from the book that are really damning in terms of in case anyone for whatever reason is still skeptical. Is this true? Don't forget, this is from the Rockefellers themselves, right?
Right.
This is not some third party interpreting it. These are the words that Rockefeller used to describe his own work, right? Yeah. He wrote the foreword for this book, and he was definitely involved in, reading through the whole thing.
For sure.
That's it. They have to make sure they don't reveal too many things, right?
Yeah.
So let me get to some of the quotes that I wrote down from. Okay, so it's important, we need to remember that Satan is depicted as a shape-shifting being, right? This is well documented. They admit that he takes on different shapes and different forms, sometimes a snake, sometimes a goat, sometimes whatever. And in that, I think that we talked about it before, that report from the Department of Justice that got scrubbed from the internet last month.
Yeah.
But I downloaded it. So I downloaded it and I have it on a PDF uploading website. So it's you can access it if you go through the Google Doc and read about this stuff if you're listening. Just have to give the page, it takes some time to upload because it's a free upload thing. So this report stated, Satan represents man as just another animal, sometimes better, more often worse than those that walk on all fours, who because of his divine and intellectual development has become the most vicious animal of all. So it's, contemptuous, of course, of, humanity. And then, so this is a direct quote from the Rockefeller book. It is not without significance that the Bible describes the genesis of the birds, sea creatures, and animals as taking place before the creation of mankind. The story can certainly be read as describing the preparation of the world for Adam, who then establishes his dominion by giving the other creatures names. To name something, or to be able to call it by a name, often represents a claim to power over it. Names are generated not only by the breath of life. In many cultures, they have been powerful magic spells. Behind this common interpretation, however, lies an older conception of the world order. Before the time came when they turned into pets and unpaid laborers, or were funneled into controlled preserves and labeled endangered species, the animals were the true rulers of the world. When the puny population of the human race could have been trampled out of existence under the advance of a single great herd of bison or reindeer, it was clear indeed who were the masters. Mankind knew well enough that the animals were stronger, fiercer, cleverer than themselves, and certainly more beautiful. So that's a whole lot to take in. Like, to unpack that right there. But I mean, going back to, they're talking about the Bible stories, but then they're talking about there's a different interpretation of the Bible, right? That's what Satanists do. They flip it on the head. They say Jesus and God are bad. They say Satan and Lucifer are good. They say virtues in the Bible, they say the sins that are in the Bible are actually virtues, right? Lust, pride, greed, wrath, envy, something else.
They twist it all into something that could be positive for the Satanist. They definitely do. And Matthew too. So with that that document that we were talking about, or that you were just talking about, that stated the Satan's the 9 satanic statements. So that document that you have, so like I told you, I've studied occult, I've studied Satanism. I actually have the Satanic Bible in my room somewhere because and it's written by Anton Szandor LaVey, right? Is who the original author of the Satanic Bible was. The whole satanic thing in the 70s and 80s or whatever, or 60, or I think it was fucking the 60s, I think, when Anton wrote that shit, but I can't remember. But so those 9 satanic statements are from Anton LaVey, but then when I was looking at that document that you sent me, like, that looks like those 9 satanic statements were scanned out of something else. That doesn't even look like what it looks like in the actual Satanic Bible. So I was like, after we had talked that night, I went back to my book and I was looking through it. I was like, okay. Because a lot of the shit you were saying when we first talked, I was just like, bam, that's Anton LaVey. Bam, that's Anton LaVey.
Okay. That's good that you confirmed it.
And but what I'm thinking is that if it's on a different document that is older than fucking Anton LaVey, then he took those 9 satanic statements maybe and tried to morph it into something else.
The document that I have it was produced for the Department of Justice, for the police to be able to identify satanic crimes.
Got you. Okay.
And it was, I believe it was published 1993.
Oh, okay. So then they're likely referencing from Anton LaVey. Oh, okay, cool.
Likely, yeah.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to clear that up because like when we were first talking, I was like, holy shit. I wonder, because I've totally thought that Anton LaVey was a whole psyop. I thought it was a whole psyop because they gave you this flashy bald-headed dude that said he slept with Marilyn Monroe or whatever, and he was really cool on TV. He had a big snake on him. He was fancy looking. He was very polite, very, just totally crazy shit. Crazy shit, dude. It's all crazy shit. I've heard that on his deathbed he fucking was like, my whole life and everything I've done was a lie, and then he died.
Oh, so that's what made you think that it was a psyop?
That's what I made that. Well, I think Satanism that was let out to the general population, I think that his books were a psyop because they were trying. If you read the Satanic Bible, there's parts of it that you're like, holy shit, this is chaos magic, and you can tell, and this is derived from Aleister Crowley. But in other parts of it, he really tries to make it seem like, oh, it's all symbolic, and oh, Satan doesn't actually exist. It's just a symbol of yourself, and blah 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 blah.
They try to make it PC. They try to make it, so nobody gets too upset about it.
Yep.
Nobody really digs into it too deep into like, okay, are they actually sacrificing humans? Are they because they like.
Have you seen what the Church of Satan earlier too when we were talking about how you were like when you sacrifice your own kid, and I don't want to get too into like the abortion thing that's going on right now because it's all crazy shit. But on the Church of Satan's Instagram, they fucking posted a status that was talking about if you're a Satanist,
they want to take
it's your religious exempt, and then we'll perform them for you. So we'll sacrifice.
They're not doing that. Yeah. They're not doing that secretly. Like they want to take. I think they made a statement that they want to take the government to court. They want to file a lawsuit.
They
that outline abortion is against freedom of religion because abortion is
a part of their religion.
Sacred part of their religion. Yeah.
So they are openly admitting that killing children is a part
of their religion. They don't hide it. It's right there. It was on the front page of Reddit the other day. Like the Satanic Temple making that statement.
Yeah. Oh, I got to make a statement too. I know I just said that, but that's just the Church of Satan. I have my own opinions on this whole situation, but I'm also a man, so I can't state you know what I mean? I'm just I
disagree with that. I still think you should be able to, because other people are going to talk about your rights and your rules that affect you.
Right.
It's not like only women are going to talk about things that affect men as well.
Yeah, so just me personally, but it's all good.
Yeah.
This show's for agreeing, disagreeing, everything. I'm gonna have a conversation with anybody about anything, man. I'm always open.
Yeah, you gotta be, everybody's gotta not be so divided.
Yeah, for sure. I believe in fucking love and unity, man. Honestly, that's all. That's
absolutely. They're trying to divide us. That's how they control us, because they want you looking at your neighbor instead of looking at the people that rule the world. The people that are in government, that are in these secret societies.
Yeah. And they wouldn't have a fucking fighting chance, dude. If everybody just had the same hive mind mindset to go fucking to take all of the guns that we have and just go storm something, they wouldn't have a fighting chance. I saw a fucking video on TikTok,
have to do it violently.
Yeah, we don't even have to do it violently. We could just be like, no, we're not paying our taxes. No, we're not filing taxes this year. Sorry.
If everybody's on the same page, then you don't have anybody to fight.
Exactly, dude. And it's fuck. They just need to continue to divide us. And honestly, what I just said, if some people are gonna listen to that and fucking hate me for what I just said about the Church of Satan with that whole, you know what I mean? But the thing is that don't hate me. I love
Satanist?
y'all.
Yeah.
Fuck,
Satanist,
man. It's just.
Yeah, it's true. Like, love is the only thing that's gonna. What's the famous saying? Combat hate. I mean, how are you gonna? To get somebody to stop hating you, you're not gonna get them to hate you less by hating them.
That's very true. You can't fight fire with fire, my friend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that paragraph that I read, there was a lot in there. They were talking about it. There's an older conception of the Bible, they said, right? So a pagan conception of the world order. Back in, because the older conception of the world order was the animals are the rulers of the world, is what they were saying.
Uh-huh.
And you had, you had all those Egyptian gods that all had, animal heads. You had all the, Baal and Moloch and
lots of
all the Native American.
A lot of anthropomorphism and what they're, yeah.
Yeah, so it says the animals were the true rulers of the world, and it talks about also. Remember, it said in that quote from this book, it says names are to be able to call it by a name often represents a claim to power over it. So to when these people that are influential in the news and the media, they create these terms for things, right? Like conspiracy theorists,
Right.
like the Department of Defense. These things, they frame your mind, and then also according to these people, according to them, they are claiming power over people when they name you.
Yeah.
Or I think a lot of slaves have the last name Gardner, for when they were Gardner or whatever as well.
Yep.
That's kind of like an example of that, right?
Yeah. Smith too. Smith, because you were some sort of smith, woodsmith.
Yeah.
Blacksmith.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I always forget that that's what that was from. Yeah.
Yep.
It wasn't that long ago that in Britain and stuff,
retrospective,
that we were living in these monarchies.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the only 1776, you guys are the OGs. People like to forget about it. Maybe not, but I think outside of America, that's less well known. I don't think a lot of people, I don't think realize that America is the oldest, democracy. Sure, there was Greece, where to some extent, but you had to be like a male landowner, I think. And they still had slaves. I guess America had slaves too. But 1776 is not long ago. It's really not.
No.
And then, you had the French Revolution a few years later, and the Bolshevik Revolution a little bit later in Russia. But from my understanding, this is how I interpret it anyways, is the British monarchy saw all of this happening and we're like, okay, we're going to give a few more rights to the people. We're going to improve the living conditions of the people, a little bit. We're going to try to make them forget that we exist.
Right.
We're going to try to get them to like us. Like it's beyond my comprehension that people admire the royal family. Like that.
Yeah. Oh, dude, me too. The child molesting, kidnapping, motherfucking satanic cult, fucking what the fuck?
Yeah.
Look into their eyes, man. Look into their eyes. Like fucking looks. They fucked up, man. They're all fucked up, man.
So the other thing I wanted to mention was, so the Rockefeller child went missing, right? And you can look up YouTube. There's lots of people that speculate that he was eaten by the cannibals.
Yeah.
I think it's slightly less widely speculated, but definitely a very valid speculation that he was sacrificed. So, Trudeau's brother supposedly died in a skiing accident.
Okay.
The only thing is his body was never found. Even though the RCMP, the police, went looking for it multiple times, they went looking for this body, never found it. And you can look up the press conference. You can find it on YouTube. You can just find it on YouTube if you search Michael Trudeau, but it's or it kind of spelled like Michel Trudeau. Michel. So, and then there's this press conference. His mother and Justin Trudeau look like complete psychopaths. There's like no mourning of the dead brother, none whatsoever. Michelle Trudeau actually looks like a complete psychopath. She's smiling. She has like a giant smile from, ear to ear. And then like she notices she's smiling and her smile like goes away. Like, how Kanye sometimes has those like fucking, his face goes like from one emotion to a complete other in a split second. That's what happened. And so she's a complete nutcase. That's a whole nother story as well. And then Justin Trudeau is just his normal sociopathic self, where he's like no emotion. He says something like, well, if Michel Trudeau had just stayed home and played N64, none of this would have ever happened. And then his mother is like, well, if Michel wasn't so stupid and didn't go skiing out of bounds, maybe he never would have died. And it's like you watch this and you're like honestly, they seem guilty as fuck.
Yeah.
So I don't have too much evidence beyond that, but you can watch that video, and like Trudeau is a genuine psychopath, and his mom too. You can also look up on YouTube Justin Trudeau speaking at his dad's funeral. because his dad was prime minister back in like the 70s.
Yeah.
And he was super popular. Like he was like a rock star. He was like the Beatles in Canada. And he went through some really tumultuous years right when Quebec was like terrorized, trying to like, we had terrorists in Canada trying to, create a new country up there. And so I guess a lot of people liked that he kept the country together or whatever. Anyways, his father dies. At the funeral, it's like all these heads of state. You got past U.S. presidents there. Fidel Castro is sitting right behind his mom. The Trudeaus and Castros have a very close relationship.
Okay.
And Trudeau's up there speaking his eulogy, and he's just basking in the limelight. There's like no... He's not mourning he's not mourning his dad at all. It's 100%. It's like, oh my God, I love all this attention. Here's my moment to bask in the limelight. And then for those of you that don't know about the Castro-Trudeau connection, a lot of people, it looks like Trudeau is actually, get this, it's very likely Trudeau is Castro's son.
No kidding.
You can look up pictures of Castro and Trudeau. They look like twins.
Whoa.
And if you look up who Justin Trudeau's father supposedly is, Pierre Trudeau, he's got a very distinctive face. Like he has a distinctive face, facial structure. Doesn't look anything like Justin.
Wow.
But Justin looks exactly like Fidel Castro.
Whoa, dude.
And the other thing is his mom is a well-documented, promiscuous woman. She slept with the Rolling Stones. Pierre Trudeau divorced her. Yeah. I don't know if she got gangbanged by the whole band, dude, or it was just Mick Jagger, but it's not like this is documented. You can read. I like to say she got gangbanged by the Rolling Stones, but it might have just been one of them.
Trudeau's mom?
Pierre Trudeau divorced her because she cheated. She was in Cuba 9 months before Trudeau was born. So there's a lot of... And then you have Trudeau, after Castro died, Trudeau made some statement like, although controversial, this guy was like a communist dictator that was like killing his own people, right? Like, not a good guy. And Trudeau's statement after he dies is, although controversial, Castro like did a lot of good things for his people, like kind of thing.
Mourning him because Daddy wasn't there, man. Just like fucking.
Yeah.
Oh man, that is crazy. We gotta get that bitch up on Jerry Springer, bro. Dude. Fucking hey.
I almost pity. And she has mental problems. Like that's also documented. She's like supposedly became a spokesperson for mental health.
Oh.
More like a spokesperson for Satanism or something.
Yeah.
And I wanted to talk about this today. So, do you know who the Aga Khan is?
Mm-mm.
So, in Canadian politics, the two biggest scandals for Trudeau have been SNC-Lavalin, which I talked about last time, and the Aga Khan scandal. So the Aga Khan is the religious leader of Ismaili Muslims. And according to the Ismailis, this guy is a direct descendant from Muhammad.
Okay.
And the Ismailis are like an occult version, occult meaning hidden.
Yeah.
But also, occult also has to do with mysticism and stuff. That's a different term. Occult doesn't mean that, but they often are closely related.
Right.
Because often when you're doing weird, bad shit, you got to hide it. So you end up being a cult, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not, you don't often hide yourself if you don't have a reason to. Sometimes maybe 1 out of 1,000 times someone does it for fun because they like the idea of secrecy. I think the other 99% of the time, it's because these guys are up to no good. So this guy claims to be the direct descendant of Muhammad. He's the leader of the Ismaili Muslims. And so Trudeau's big scandal was he flew to this guy's private island I think it was like 3 times, multiple times, which you're not allowed to do as a prime minister, especially when your government is giving money to this guy. So for whatever reason, don't ask me, it doesn't make any sense. He claims to be, philanthropic and have his, his little foundation, just like the Clintons have, just like the Rockefellers have. The Rockefellers have their foundation, the Clintons have theirs. And this guy has his own foundation where he, does his, supposedly good stuff. And the Canadian government has given him hundreds of millions of dollars over the years. And then Trudeau is going to his island, vacationing over Christmas with the Aga Khan.
Yeah.
Which is like, and, to some people, I believe, supposedly there's only 15 million Ismailis. Maybe there's more because they have a history of being hidden, right? But supposedly there's only about 15 million of them.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the interesting things is this family is very closely connected with the British royal family. I mean, the Aga Khan is like, they actually have all this European monarch blood in them because they came from Iran, but then they've married, Swiss and British and whatever. Yeah. So now the guy looked white, although he is supposedly the leader of these Muslims.
Mm-hmm.
And they also, not only have they a history of being hidden, they also openly admit that they have an esoteric interpretation of the Quran.
Oh, okay. So
an esoteric means only, like, you can only understand it if you've been given the knowledge to understand it, right? Kind of like Freemasonry, there's hidden symbols, hidden meanings, like the K in magic.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
Like, you see the number 33, or you see the Masonic symbols of the pyramid stuff, and some people don't know what it means. Or like, there's lots of things that can be esoteric. All that esoteric means is that, only the initiated, those that are given knowledge can understand it. So everyone else, it goes over their heads. So this is who this guy is. And the Aga Khan, his father or grandfather, was the head of the League of Nations. That's like the League of Nations is the precursor to the United Nations.
Yeah. So
that's like this guy's father or grandfather was the ruler of the world, or they attempted, right? The League of Nations, that's what these globalists are trying to do, right? They're trying to take away the sovereign nation state, and they're trying to replace it with a one world government. Being, the European Union is an intermediary step. NATO is an intermediary step, but they want to bring, they want to make the United Nations, the World Health Organization, the World Economic Forum. They want these things to replace nation state.
Mm-hmm.
And not for good reasons.
No. For Klaus Schwab's beady-eyed evil fucking reasons, sons of bitches.
Yeah. And even if anyone had good intentions, which these guys don't, it can never work because it's too much power in the hands of too few, and it's guaranteed to be corrupted, right? That's why we need nation states. It's a sad thing. I wish we could have a world government. It's just like why you can't have a monopoly in a marketplace, right? You're gonna have corruption. It'll appear even if you have a good company. At the end over a period of generations, you're gonna get incompetence, nepotism. They're gonna hire their children and their friends.
That's right.
You're gonna get corruption. You're gonna get all this. So you need competition. It's the only thing that can guarantee you, a company that's going to be competitive and whatever. It's the same thing with nations. You can't give all the power to. I think it's, it's one of the reasons why these these guys hidden within the American government have gotten away with so much, is because
that's right.
They've been the unchallenged rulers of the world since World War II.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So that's the second biggest Canadian controversy, is the Aga Khan scandal. And this guy is like, he's like some weird fucking religious leader that claims to be like, the descendant from Muhammad, has an esoteric interpretation of the Bible, and all this. So
wow.
I wanted to I wanted to mention that for some reason. I don't know if there was a segue that got into there. I just wanted to mention it. But
I got it. I'm gonna have to. I'm actually gonna have to wrap this up pretty soon.
Yeah.
So, but we can continue on. I got about like 10, 15 more minutes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, with the Rockefeller stuff, I need to do more of the. I know there's. I want to talk about the Trilateral Commission and the other ways that the Council on Foreign Relations.
Yeah.
The Bilderberger Group and whatever else, but I haven't done the necessary research to talk on these things. But I know that these guys the Rockefellers are widely regarded as being high up in this secret, hierarchy, and because they were fabulously wealthy. Some claim they're the wealthiest family ever in human history. I don't think that's true.
I don't think it's true either, because I believe honestly that the ones that are, we don't know their names.
Hidden.
Yeah,
they're hidden. Yeah,
there might be
Ross.
Yeah, we don't know their names. So fucking come on.
It's possible the Rothschilds are the wealthiest family that's ever existed, and is still the wealthiest family. That's possible. It's possible it's someone else, man. It's like who the fuck knows?
Who the fuck knows?
But these ancient old money, and these people have been in secrecy for forever, like for hundreds of years, right? The Knights Templar and stuff.
Yeah, since the Crusades,
they've been around
since the fucking
the Crusades, and they were satanic. Yeah. They worshipped Baphomet, right? They worshipped Baphomet. That's documented.
That's fucking crazy. And the Knights Templar has connections that go fucking deep. I've heard a couple of things about how they might have been a basically just an organization that was there to protect the power elite at the time. Like they were their own personal little army, but I don't know how true that is. I've heard it. I ain't no fucking scientist, so I can't really say too much on what I don't know. But
supposedly they were hired by like the kings or the Pope or something, right, to go and conquer Jerusalem and Israel, right, for the Christians.
Yeah.
Take it back from the Muslims.
The Holy War, man. The Holy War that's been going on since the dawn of time.
Mm-hmm. I guess they went down there and they came in contact, I guess, with all these pagan religions and stuff, and
fucking crazy.
Took on this new, took on Satanism. They worship Baphomet. He's the satanic fucking most prominent symbol of the Satanists, right? So
man, this is intense, bro. This is intense, man. Fucking A.
It's and I think they go by different names, because when you have JFK was talking about it, he referred to it as a monolithic secret society, right? Uh-huh. It's one unit. They might call themselves Illuminati over here. They might call them Freemasons, Knights Templar. I think when they gain too much heat, when too much public knowledge is divulged about themselves,
rebrand.
They take on a new name,
That's
rebrand
right.
themselves. It's and or even at the same time during history, they'll have different names so that someone can't immediately connect them.
Right.
Right. The Satanists. Right. These guys are Satanists. We know that the Freemasons are Satanists. We know that the Knights Templar are Satanists. Illuminati. To be enlightened. Well, Lucifer is
bearer of light,
referred to as the bearer of light.
That's right.
And so, what does it mean to be illuminated? It means to be, given that hidden knowledge, right? That secret knowledge from Lucifer.
Fuck. And they want to wrap that shit up in a nice prepackaged too, dude. Because like I said, when I was a kid, man, I was studying occult. I was into that shit, bro. I was into that shit. And I really, really, really hope that none of that energy that I put out into the world back then would ever come affect me, But fuck. shit sucks, dude. It's crazy because they can really get you, man, and they really got me when I was a kid, dude. I thought I'm like, I'm fucking, you can't tell me shit about shit, you know. I fucking found it out. I figured this shit out. Lo and behold, I was getting fucking tricked the entire time, dude. The entire time.
You thought Satanism was good.
I thought Satanism was good. I thought Satanism was something that was going to free us from the arms of religion and the tight grip of religion. And way later on into my life, I just started recognizing that, no, I'm not an animal.
Yeah, no,
you know, I'm not an animal.
Did they
Sorry, go ahead.
Did they say, well, okay, I just wanted to ask, did they say that it's not a religion? How do they get you into, you know, how did they reel you in?
So I kind of reeled myself in, honestly. I was looking.
But even in the writings, right?
In the writings. How did it reel me in? Because it made me feel like, I don't really know. And I don't really know. Yeah. And that's the scary part about it, is that,
well, like the world is fucked up and we have a solution. It's kind of that's how I see what they're trying to say. You know, like they'll take all the fucked up shit about the world and be like, oh, if the Satanists ran the world, none of this would be happening. Everything would be all good. And
that religion is looking at everything through rose-colored glasses, as everything. In a sense, it is kind of looking at everything through rose-colored. What I just said, but. It's all a fucking lie, man. It's all a fucking lie. I can tell you.
Yeah, exactly. Satan is a liar.
He's a
Satan is a liar. You know, Satanists are liars. Not all of them, but we have to remember all of these things, like the Freemasons, all these secret societies. They're all sworn to secrecy.
Yeah.
They're not allowed to tell you about what they actually believe.
Yeah.
And so they try to mislead people, right?
Sure.
And then after they let you in, after they initiate you, and then after they vet you over the course of years and years, and they let you progress through the ranks. I don't know. I'm sure Satanism has ranks as well. You know, they might not be as publicly well known as Freemasons are, the Masonic ranks are, but you know, they need to. With all of these things, they're not hiding things for no reason.
That's right. That's right, man. That's fucking crazy. All right, Matthew. You know what? This was an awesome talk. I had a good time chatting with you, bro. I want to do it again.
Yeah, absolutely. Me too. Let's dive into. I think a good thing would be the Freemasons, because that's so big.
I'm totally down. I know. I kind of sprung this on you
down.
And it was a little unorganized. I was just like, "Oh, what's up, man? You want to get on a pod real quick?"
It's fine. yeah, it's all good. Man, I want to get this information as far and wide as possible.
For sure, dude.
This is not like this is real. This is not, you know. I wish this was I wish we were just talking about fiction, you know, and the Harry Potter books.
I know, man.
How cool it was that you know, when Harry Potter cast that spell at Voldemort, and how cool that. Like, I wish that was it. I wish it wasn't the fucking Rockefellers, the most, you know, one of the wealthiest families ever in human history. I wish it wasn't the wealthiest family in Canada, the Thompson family, that is openly stated they belong to secret society.
Yeah,
you know,
man.
I wish it wasn't all this shit that's real.
Yeah, I know. Me too, buddy. Me too. But all right, buddy. Yeah. Good talking to you. I will talk to you again soon, bud.
You too.
Godspeed.
All right, peace.
Yes.